Namaste and welcome to the session number 16 of our course, Dhyana-Upasana, its methods as prescribed in Samkhya and Yoga. As you are very well aware, right from the beginning, our objective has been to take along both the practice part of what we call Dhyana-Upasana and its theoretical foundation. As in any faculty of knowledge, both theory and practice go hand in hand, must go together. Otherwise, one doesn't learn properly. But in this particular stream, practice is more relevant, more important. That's why I have put it at number 1. And we have always said that it must be part of daily life. We have seen in yoga also, Yoga Sutra, first chapter, Abhyas and Vairagya. And Abhyas, he has said, is Dirghkal Nayantaya. For a long period, many months and years, and continuously, day after day. In classical Vedic tradition, this is one of the 5 great important rituals any household is expected to do, what is called Panch Mahayajna. This is one of them and is also called as Brahm Yajna. Yajna has a connotation in terms of being in company also. Brahm is that supreme consciousness. So the word meaning of Brahm Yajna will be, I want to be with that entity known as Brahma. It also carries the name Sandhya-Upasana, compound word with Sandhya and Upasana. Sandhya is also a compound word coming from Dhyan, that's what we call meditation, with a prefix some meaning well performed. If meditation is well performed, that is called Sandhya, that leads to Upasana. So that's what is the meaning of Sandhya-Upasana. But nowadays it is mostly done it is word of Upasana actually, and indeed mostly it is called as Sandhya, Sandhya Vandanam, etc., where somebody merely recites a set of Ved mantras. He does not quite sit for what we have learned here as Upasana. But this is what this was supposed to be. So this has been an integral part of, needs to be performed twice a day, Brahm Yajna Sandhya-Upasana. Early morning before sunrise and soon after sunset, end of the day, working day at least. What we probably have noticed, as most of you might have seen it, we can take pride in this course that it has 3 important features. It is authentic. Probably first time in the modern history, we have an opportunity to see, like yogas chittavetti yod, what actually chitta is and where the chittavetti come from, namely ahankar. That is our storage device for all the impatience, present and past. So this is authentic and it is comprehensive. Otherwise, in the world, we have a number of meditation teachers teaching meditation. And as we have seen, mostly a typical meditation practitioner is doing only outer yoga, doesn't go beyond pratyaha. In our scheme of 6 steps, he is barely crossing the step number 3. So we have seen always, I can show you the slide when we sit for Upasana practice. We have 6 items here because yam and niyam we consider as part of daily lifestyle. So when it comes to practicing in Ashtanga Yoga, after yam and niyam, there are 6 steps. Patanjali's original terms are: number 1, asana; 2 is pranayam; 3rd is pratyahara; 4th is dharana; 5th is dhyana; 6th is samadhi. And as we have seen last week, he characterizes first 3 as outer yoga and the later 3 as inner yoga, which is what actually yoga is. And then as far as Ashtanga Yoga is concerned, he says even 4, 5, 6 are outer yoga with respect to ultimate. Ultimate is Nirvid Samadhi without any seats. So what we have seen is first, second, third form outer yoga. They are pertaining, if you look at our Panchkosh, 5 layers, and the cave, the Miwe who is residing in the deep in the cave, he is enveloped by 5 layers called Purush or Atma, the self. Now from outermost is Annamaya Kosh, the body layer. The second one is pranic layer, pranayam. So we discipline the outermost layer first, the body layer, then pranic layer. Then we have outer mind. Outer mind is that part of mind that activates motor organs or action based. So actions are outgoing. So outer mind is called Manomaya Kosh, the 3rd layer. Now the 4th layer is called Vijnanamaya Kosh. That is where inner mind, and that's where we are doing intellectual functioning. So as I like to see, this is the fist is self. I am always observing the buddhi, intellect, and to acquire the incoming knowledge from 5 sensory organs and also process them in thinking mode and come to some sort of a conclusion. And if I decide to act upon, the decision is also taken here. And then this is outer mind that activates the motor organs. So step number 4 corresponds to the 4th layer. And 5th layer is that ocean of, actually there are 2 coexisting continua, as we'll see next week probably, more at length. One is that of Ishwar, and one is that of matter, what is called Prakriti. So this is 4th layer, Vijnanamaya Kosh. 5th layer that I would like to graduate to, I would like to enter into, is called Anandmaya Kosh, as if that is that infinite ocean of Ishwar that is closest to me, and that's what I want to be with, but I must disconnect from 4 layers. So what I was trying to tell you is this corresponds to layer number 1, body layer. Step number 2 corresponds to pranic layer, second layer. Step number 3 corresponding to Manomaya Kosh, the third layer, outer mind, that is manas, activating linkage, that links up with the motor organs. This is Asana, Pranayam, Pratyahara. Now fourth is the inner mind layer where we do intellectual thinking, etc. So when we perform, when we follow this scheme, I have tried to explain, going from step 3 to step 4 requires dual jump. Jump number 1 is from outer mind to inner mind, or we can say Manomaya Kosh to Vijnanmaya Kosh, layer number 3 to layer number 4. But that we are doing at this point also. At this point also, I am thinking and speaking, and you are listening and making sense out of my words. Indeed, we are functioning here. That is our intellect, that is our buddhi. But when we practice for upasana, then as we jump from 3 to 4, we don't want to end up with intellectual thinking. We want to quieten our intellectual operations. So if we are intellectually thinking, this particular instrument is functioning as buddhi mode, as intellect. But when I want to practice upasana, I want to make this quiet. So I insist that this instrument must cease to function and its normal intellectual thinking. It must die out those operations. If I succeed in that, that's why we say, I want to be void of thoughts. So if I am void of thought, indeed, then this instrument is now behaving not as a buddhi, not as intellect, but as chitta. That's what is highlighted here. So that's what this is dual jump. From Manomaya Kosh, layer number 3 of outer mind, to Vijnanmaya Kosh, layer number 4 of inner mind. And implicitly there is another jump that I am not continuing with intellect-based operations. I want thinking to vanish and make it at a lower potential. This instrument is now at lower potential. That is called a chitta. So that's what this is very important to understand, this dual jump from 3 to 4. And I will not be surprised if 99% people in the world practicing meditation, including their teachers, they do not know the difference between buddhi and chitta, because that theoretical part is void. There is no book talking all these things. So even teacher doesn't know it, students don't know it, they just sit, close their eyes and try to make their mind calm. Most of them are at Pratyahara level at step number 3. Because step number 4, last week we have seen, Vyasa is very clear. There is only one single Chitta-vritti. Chitta-vritti is difficult to define in English, difficult to translate into English. But vritti, look at it as an image. But I say again and again, I use the word image doesn't mean a visual image. This screen, Chitta I have translated as screen, can display 5 dimensions of a incoming piece of knowledge. So sight, sound, smell, taste, and touch. Here you can see the taste of coffee you had yesterday. Now seeing is a word that we use, but when I say you can see the taste, it is the main emphasis is on the taste. When I use the word see the taste of it, see is just to make a direct cognition of that, isn't it? So when I say the image, it doesn't have to be visual image. So in this particular scheme, we are, as we move from step 3 to step 4, the image that we carry forward is the sound. The sound is oh. This sound has a name, Pranav. So our image here is not the visual image, it is that sound. But that sound, I don't want to recite. If I am reciting, I am functioning in action mode in step 3 in Pratyahara. So we do start with the oral recitation, but we are aware that that is pertaining to the step number 3, Pratyahara. When we intend to move to Dharana, we say this mental recitation of this sound. That is our chosen Chittavritti. So I must be there. And even there, I admit that that Chittavritti gets displaced here and there. Some other thing comes in, because that is the nature of Chitta. Something else is popping out from Ahankar. But in step 4, we are mindful that I want to superimpose this Chittavritti and this only. If it gets displaced, I want to bring it back here. And if I succeed in that Chittavritti is no more further displayed, there is uniformity, then I have graduated to step 5, that is meditation. So meditation is when that Chittavritti is very well sustained, and even that vanishes and not displaced by anything else, it is blank here, then I am in Samadhi 6. So this is the authentic definition of all these terms. But people are using these terms, even yoga is used in a mistreated manner, or what should I say, in a wrongful manner. Hot yoga is being characterized as yoga. And people say, I am doing meditation 20 minutes or so. But of course, he is in silent mode, his eyes are closed, but he may be observing in the sense here, not through his eyes, a kind of procession of images, one image and another image. Even if you are, say, observing your breathing is a dynamic process, it's a cyclic process. It's not one stationary image. Or you are listening to a background music where your ears are open and some sound is coming, and that sound is ending up to here. All the outer layers are very much in functional mode. You are not in dharana. Or there is a teacher who is guiding you, so-called guided meditation. He is speaking something and you are listening to it. He is speaking when his intellect is working. You are listening, trying to make sense of his words. Your intellect is working. So you are in buddhi mode, you are not in chitta mode. So all these finer issues are not well known. People do not know. They just think they are doing meditation. So this being the case, we should be aware of there is a question in the chat box about going from step 5 to 6. Does it happen automatically or you do it? It's a very important question, very, very important. Here I will say, otherwise this question will be taken up in the next session at a good length. But I will say at this point, the brief short answer is just like you go to sleep. Sleep is also two kinds, with dreams and without dreams. So look at the sleep with dream as step 5, because there is something on the chitta. And step 6 is deep sleep, blank mind. So dhyan is corresponding to sleep with dream, and number 6, samadhi, corresponds to deep, dreamless sleep. Indeed, that's what we have put here. The objective is to attain a state of mind as if in deep, dreamless sleep, which every human being is aware of. What is that? So answer to this question is, do I go consciously, intentionally, with my own willpower from step 5 to step 6? Does it happen, or how does it happen? The answer is, just like you do not decide whether you will have sleep with dream or deep, dreamless sleep. It is just sometimes you are blessed with that, is it not? In the same manner, sometimes you will be blessed with step 6, otherwise at most you can try step 5. And your persistent effort will make you deserving, and one day you will be blessed with step 6 also. Okay, that was a brief answer to this question. Let's go on. Let's move on. So I was on slide here. So what we are saying is, this particular course is authentic, comprehensive, and very simple, simplest insofar as the scheme of Dhyana-Upasana is concerned. Very simple scheme which anybody can follow. The theoretical foundation are also simple, but they take much longer now for people to understand, not because they are not simple. It takes too much effort for everybody to understand and grasp these theoretical ideas, because they have a lot of misinformation because of your previous baggage. That previous baggage hinders your grasping the ideas that Kapil and Patanjali would want to share with you, which are very simple. If you look at the sutras, the flowchart is so intelligently made, so simple. If you are just attentive, you will follow it. But it takes too long. I have seen in this particular course, there have been people who have been attending 3 times and again, because it takes time for them to grasp it. Why? Not because Patanjali has made things complex or Kapil has made things complex. It's more because they have heard these terms previously many times, and there were wrong ideas, wrong notions. So now the correct meaning is difficult. It's taking time to sink in. So that's what it is. So as you will see, I'm trying to wrap up this course So I have about three more sessions, including this, or maybe a fourth one. A fourth session I will dedicate to how this Samkhya should be done, which many people do. And if they just add 5-10 minutes of Upasana correctly, they can make it more, they can benefit more from it. And of course, today's session is on the simplest part, the next session on comprehensive, and then on the authenticity. And then I may end up there itself. It depends how much time it takes. So demonstration of Vedic Sandhya, what we call, I may do along with, so today is session number 16, this will be 17, this will be 18. Within 18, I may be able to integrate a demonstration of Vedic Sandhya, or I may have to do session number 19 exclusively for Vedic Sandhya. So that is still lingering in my mind. Let's go on so today's topic is things are simple, particularly the practice part. So this is something I have shown in the early part of the course. And when we talk about practice, we do want to say it's for, of course, everyone. Upasana is for every human being. And that way we want to say it is like every child succeeds in being in his mother's lap. Nobody has to teach the child anything. It is very natural. The mother's love he has been blessed with, and he doesn't have much to reciprocate, but he reciprocates some love towards his mother, and out of that bonding, so the bonding that child has towards his mother, he approaches his mother and his mother takes the child in her lap. So this is something every child in the world is able to do it. And in the same manner, we want to say the Ishwar is Supreme Mother, Supreme Father to everybody. And it should be as simple as that. And indeed, it is that. In that spirit, we want to say every human being can adopt this scheme coming from Sankhya and Yoga and also prior literature, Vedas and Upanishads. Of course, that's what they have packaged in a particular manner. This is very easy to understand, comprehend, and adopt and succeed in it. So that's what we are saying. To succeed in Upasana, the theoretical complexities should not hinder anybody, should not discourage anybody. That is, theoretical complexities are not required. Only somebody who wants to convince himself that, yes, this is the right way, he needs to go through these theoretical concepts. Otherwise, just practice is enough and you will benefit much out of it. And as I have said a while ago, this stream of knowledge called Upasana, Yoga, etc., has, like any other stream, theory and practice. But here, practice has an edge for so many reasons. Like we are saying, even without theory, one can know all the practice and succeed in it. So that way, we are not contradicting that theory is not required, but theoretical part may be in a very nutshell. And that is enough for you to get guidance and practice the methods, etc. To succeed in Upasana, one need not be a scholar in the theory of Upasana. This is not a necessary condition. But of course, those who want to enjoy it or who want to convince themselves that out of so many meditation practices, why this is the best, then one may have to examine all. In this context, this is very important. In Yoga Darshan, we did go 3.6, but we did not go through the commentary by Vyasa. But I have quoted this in the early part of the course. So Vyasa is writing a couple of lines. He is saying it is said. So these two lines are not from him. Probably this is what was commonly known at that time. Sorry, I have not translated into Roman, but I will read it out once. It has 4 quarters, so to say. So first quarter goes like Yogena Yogo Jyatavyo. Now there is a knowledge and practice part, theory and practice part. So first line is talking about the knowledge part of yoga, and he's saying Yogain, by practice of yoga, one yoga is known, or I have translated, practicing yoga, one learns the related knowledge of yoga. So he is emphasizing that it is the practice of yoga that will make you appreciate and understand what is all this. Then the second quarter says yoga, actually it is yoga, but in Sanskrit grammar rule, this is Sandhi, so yoga becomes yogo. Yogo means yoga. Yogat means out of yoga. So yogat has been translated again as practicing yoga. Yoga pravartate. Now this is in the action mode. So one becomes proficient in yoga practices. So like if you start swimming, then you may become a good swimmer. If you never dive into water, you will never be a swimmer. So that's what he's saying. As you practice yoga, your practice will be better. So first was dedicated to the knowledge part, second part was to the practice part. Now the third quarter says yo meaning that person. Apamatta. Pamatta is what is called procrastination, laziness, etc. But is for negation, one who is not, so I have translated, one who follows yogain is apamatastu yogain. I have translated one who follows yoga relentlessly. Then he says, ya and sa go together. The person who does this, he. So this is now he, mate chayam yoge. This is locative case. So he remains in yoga forever. So otherwise, like what is our objective? In Upasana, I want to be in Samadhi. That is called yoga. That we have seen in the very early part of Patanjali Yoga Sutra Vyasa's comments. Yoga, Samadhi. Yoga and Samadhi are synonyms, he said. So when I say I want to be in Samadhi, that means I want to be in union with him. That union is the word yoga. So now he says, at the end, somebody is permanently in yoga with him. So that is the power of its practice part. So we have always emphasized practice, practice, practice. There is no substitute for that. Okay. Today we want to talk very briefly. Yes, we can have high ideal. I want to succeed in meditation, Patanjali Yoga, etc., etc. But you have to be grounded to the realities also. So next week, we will devote more time on what we call Sushupti and Samadhi. In my personal life, I think this is the most significant statement I saw in Samkhya, and that empowered me a lot. So what Sankhya is saying, chapter 516th, Samadhi, Sushupti, Moksheshu, Brahmarupta. I like it very much, so I think I have discussed it in the introductory part of the course, which is putting three things at par, three states of ours, namely Samadhi, that you are aware of, is the eighth step of Ashtanga Yoga, Sushupti, deep dreamless sleep, and moksha is when I am permanently disconnect from body fame, body as well as mind, so to say. And then he's saying these three states are at par in the sense I am in the ocean of Brahma, Brahma Rupata. So like I was saying, dharana becomes better, it becomes dhyan when chit is in ekagya avastha, meaning chit is not blank but is one pointed. That is also very good because no other chittavritti is displacing it. And now it is nirudha avastha when this is blank, that is samadhi. So when it is blank, then I am immersed in that ocean. That ocean is of Brahma. So he's saying in moksha also you are permanently floating in that ocean, okay? Then he's saying even Sushupti you are there. Even when deep, dreamless sleep. So Sushupti is a very out of the world experience when Chit is not displaying anything. When you have dreams, Chit is displaying something. When no more dreams, you are in Sushupti. So Sushupti and Samadhi are at par. Even moksha is at par, but we are more concerned in this worldly life. So that's why I say in our scheme, the top line objective is bring your mind in as it prevails in Sushupti. Now what we are learning here is if your sleep quality is bad, you will see, then you are not able to practice meditation properly. Indeed, some of you, almost every one of you must have noticed by now, if you have practiced even a couple of months, there must have been an occasion you are with eyes closed, you intend to be in meditation, and then there is a sudden kind of a jerk, sleepy jerk, isn't it? As if you are falling asleep. You must have noticed, I am sure. This has a lot of message for you. One message is, as you are practicing meditation, your mind is becoming quiet. That's a good news, so to say. But the bad news part is, as mind is becoming quiet, in some corner the sleep, as usual sleep is still there, that thinks it's the right time to attack you. So that is bad news in the sense, in the preceding night your sleep was not complete. So there is some residual sleep, which is hidden in a corner somewhere. And when you are practicing meditation, that residual sleep finds it a good occasion to overpower on. There is a message that your sleep was not good. So if your sleep is not good, you are not able to practice meditation. But you have practiced enough, you have made some progress that you are able to come to a point that your mind is quiet, is it not? So this is what is the message here. Your meditation practice will make your sleep quality better. It will be easier to go to sleep and hopefully your sleep quality will be better. And as your sleep quality gets better, it will enable you to practice meditation better, is it? So this should be very, very clear in your mind that Indeed, meditation cannot be uncoupled from any faction of your life. It is 24/7. That's what we will see next week when we talk about comprehensive nature of this course and this practice, this scheme. You will see no part of your life will stay untouched. Whatever progress you are making in Patanjali Yoga meditation practices, everything will get affected. And of course, in a positive manner, everything will get affected. Even your physical health, the way you speak, the way you think, everything. It will change the whole person. That is the comprehensive nature of this whole Patanjali Yoga practice, isn't it? So today we want to discuss something very simple, which I shouldn't have made a slide of, because this is just, you can do internet search, how to improve sleep. But I thought I must at least. So this is what you will get if you just search on internet. I also picked up from some couple of sources. What they are saying is, the sleep scientist or medical fraternity, they say to have good quality sleep, it is good to have a fixed bedtime and try to adhere to this bedtime 7 days a week. If not, at least 5 days a week. 7 days is better. So whatever you like, you know your hours of sleep you need. Somebody needs 6 hours, some 7, somebody 8, whatever it is. There is no good and bad. It is your body biology that requires that sleep. Once you know it and you know what time you want to wake up, say you have 8 hours sleep you need, and you must be awake at 6 in the morning. So that says your bedtime should be 10. So 10 to 6 you should. But here I will make a comment that also has come from sleep scientists. What they are saying is, say you need 8 hours sleep, you have one option is 10 to 6. Another could be 9 to 5. Another could be 11 to 7, is it not? What they are saying is take the middle point of your sleep. So if it is 10 to 6, the midpoint is 2 a.m. 4 hours on this side, 4 hours on the other side. If you sleep 11 to 7, the midpoint is 3 a.m. If you sleep 9 to 5 for 8 hours, your midpoint is 1 a.m. Now they are saying is, your sleep quality will be better if the midpoint is closer to midnight. So that makes slight sense also, common sense, because midday is middle of the day, midnight is middle of the night. So middle of my sleep hours should coincide with, if it is closer to midnight, it will be better. So that way, for somebody going to sleep, wanting to sleep 8 hours, the best sleep will be 8 to 4, because then his midpoint is 12 midnight. But nowadays, for adults like us, 8 to 4, not many people will buy it. So the three instances I gave, 9 to 5, the midpoint is 1 a.m., 10 to 6, midpoint is 2 a.m., and 11 to 7, midpoint is 3 a.m. So of course, 9 to 5 will likely to end up give you better quality of sleep. This is an observation from sleep scientists. So when you fix up your bedtimes, you may have that also in your mind. This is another important observation. Just before your bedtime, the last 40 minutes or 30 minutes, this must be like preparatory, your transition phase. So your level of activity should be minimum, particularly the intellectual activity. So it is suggested in those 40 minutes, you do something which are very mundane kind of thing. Preparing your bag for tomorrow office, or lunch, or ironing shirts, or, those kind of things, or cutting vegetable, or something like that. Some simple thing, brushing your teeth and all those things. At one time, I used to go for a walk, brisk walk at this time. But now I'm in New York, it's colder. I don't like to go that late. So I have changed my walking time to morning, daytime hours. But in Houston, I used to go out for a walk before my bedtime. So that was good because that got me slightly tired. So if you can, depending on your climate and your personal taste, a 30-minute walk is a very good suggestion for this 40 minutes, last 40. But please, no phone, no TV, and no internet in these 40 minutes. That is very important. If difficult to fall into sleep, then refrain from sleeping in afternoon. So if some people sleep slightly 1 to 2 hours in afternoon, then 5, 6 hours in the night. If it works out, it's no harm. But if afternoon sleep is making it difficult for you to fall asleep in the night, then some physical exercise in the daytime, particularly in this pandemic, we have seen last 2 years, that was more important. So there has to be something like this. Minimum is some sort of walking, or you can go to a gym or other workouts. Your bedroom should be simple, clutter-free. I think this is very important. Bedroom, I will say, is a very sacred place because of this statement, Kapil's statement, Samadhi Sushupti. So that's what I am putting a line at the bottom, as if sleep is being in Upasana in bedroom. So look at it that way, because you desire to be in Sushupti. When you will be in Brahmagupta, you will be in the lap of that Ishwar. So try to look at it that way, as if sleep is a method, as a mode to be with in her lap, that Supreme Mother's lap. Okay, so that bedroom should be very neat, clean, but not extravagant. It's not vulgar. It's very simple. I hope you know what. This is also important because you sleep in dark, very much of kind of a darkness, if not full darkness, almost like darkness. So they are suggesting that in the daytime, you should see the contrast. You should see broad daylight. This is very important. So if you are going out in the sun, that is good. But there are some people who are always in their homes, and there are some people, they are in home in their daytime, and they would like to put curtains and this, try to make it very dark inside. So it's not very good, because the suggestion from sleep scientists is in the daytime, in the night when you sleep, you want the darkness, and in the daytime, you should be on the other side of the spectrum, broad daylight. You must spend some time there. Of course, this is, everybody knows it, not good to have smoking or drinking, but those who do it, they're not particularly in evenings. Like I don't even take tea or coffee after 5 p.m. Don't take it every day, but whenever I take it, it has to be before 5 or 6 in the. If sleepless, sometimes we have sleepless hours, we are lying but not catching sleep, then move to another room and do something so that you get fatigued. Of course, I again say this is important. In bedroom, no phone, no TV, laptop, PC, etc. So bedroom should be a sacred space for them. Okay, I think practicing Upasana every day, time duration. Maharishi Dayanand in his book Light of Truth, in 3 chapters, in 3 different occasions, he is prescribing different time duration. For student life, he is saying minimum 1 hour. It's not that clear. Is it 1 hour together, 30 minutes morning, 30 minutes evening? But he's saying minimum 1 hour. In householders like what is called Grihasthashram, family, you are raising a family, he is suggesting, the word is a ghadi bhar, that means 24 minutes. Then in chapter 9, he's saying that is for one person, mumukshu. The word is mumukshu, who is very much on the yoga mark, moksha mark. He's saying 2 hours every day. I will interpret it as 1 hour in the morning, 1 hour in the evening. So that is his suggestion. And today, as I said, it is more on practice. And I have not been very, this is the occasion I am using to make some remarks on step 1, that is asana or body posture. So Yoga, second chapter 46 says, Sthir Sukham Asanam. We have seen it 2-3 weeks ago. Body should be bundled in a posture that stays unwavering. Sthir means stationary. Sukham means comfortable. It should not be painful. And that's what is asana. This is the same statement, exactly same Samkhya 3rd chapter. We have not seen it in this course, but it is. And significantly, Samkhya in this last chapter adds here, Sthir Sukham Asanam, the same as 34. Iti, that's it. Na niyama. There is no hard and fast rule. So both the rishis, Patanjali and Kapil, they are not specifying a particular posture. That is very significant. So in our course also, I have never tried to impose upon anybody that you must do it this way. So these are 2 parameters, unwavering and comfortable posture. So that's the way it should be. Now, I want to show you quickly. Okay, let me show you the Vyasa comments. So Vyasa is commenting on this statement. One thing he says, one ought to be seated, means you don't, you are not standing and doing, saying that that is asana that will take me to dhyana or samadhi. So you have to be seated. This is clarified. And then he puts in certain terms, Padmasana, Dandasana, I don't know what is this. I'm not expert on asanas. Padmasana I know, Swastikasana I know, but then he says, etc. So he's also not pinpointing, this is the posture for you. So we all have enough freedom. So here it is, my slide. Asana body posture is a range of options. So I feel it good that towards the end of the course, I can present to you a range of options. On the one side, that's the way we have done most of us in this particular course. We stay seated on a chair. So here I am slightly specific. Take a seat on a chair without arms. Like my personal chair at this time has arms. You can see it. But I think it is better. And this is wide enough, so I don't touch the arms. So I'm suggesting armless chair, like we have typically dining chair. So that is okay. If you feel like having a cushion, okay. So that is on one extreme. But now I will say how we can, if you want to, if you want to go through this whole entire spectrum, the way I look at it. So now I am moving so that I can go down and sit on the floor also. So I have prepared a segment here so I can demonstrate, and most of you can see in the recording. Okay. So now I am sitting on the floor. Now I am giving you simpler options because some people are unable to bend their knees. So that way they can just, the simpler. I'm going from simple to complexity. The simpler option Suppose you are unable to bend your knees, then I hope you can see my legs are spread out.
Please, can you lower a little bit, like we can't see your feet?
Yeah, I think I can lower the platform. Okay.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. So, what I'm saying is if you are unable to bend your knees, you can take the support of the wall and sit like this. The legs are spread out, or maybe in a comfortable posture. Now, if you are able to bend your knees, okay, just fold them in a very instinctive form. And if you do not wish to keep your back straight, or you want to take the support of the wall, you are like this, isn't it? This is also simple. Now the next is you are aware. Now even here you may have an option. You can use a cushion below your buttocks. Then that is also a comfortable manner. And you are taking the support of the wall as well. Say like this. Now increasing the complexity, say I get away from the wall. Then I am away from the wall and using the cushion. The legs were folded on the knees, as I said, with mere instinctive manner. And when you do it like this, there is a term here, Sukhasana. So Sukhasana is nothing but you have spread out your two legs and you just fold them. Let the left one come first or right one, or it can be vice versa. It is left to you. You just follow your instincts. Just taking care that your lower back, shoulders and neck is in a straight line. If you cannot keep it like this, you can take the support of the wall. But after a while, you may say, okay, let me try it this way. So at this point, I am in Sukhasana, the fourth line from the bottom. The word Sukh means comfortable. And I am taking the help of the cushion. To increase the complexity, I say I don't want to rely on the cushion. Now it is like this. Maybe I should show the lower part better. Okay, so Sukhasana was simply folding like this. Okay, now we will do Padmasana. Again, the starting is this way. In Sukhasana, the foot was below the thighs. But now the foot is above the thighs. That is the difference between Sukhasana and Padmasana. Padmasana is called lotus posture. I somehow never liked it, but it has a name. And even Vyasa has included it. Now, next is what is my favorite, what I did since my childhood. That is Siddhasana. Now I will describe that. So if you want to see it again and again, you can play the recording. There are 3 steps basically. This is mirror image, but actually I am bringing my left foot inward. In the image, it looks like a right foot. Now this heel is on my center line, just below my testicles. So there is a soft spot there. You should just barely touch that. And the foot palm is touching the right thigh. Not pressing hard, it's mild touching. Now I bring my right foot inward such that this line, say black color socks, I hope you know, this black color line, so maybe I remove this sock. So I mean this line. And on this side, where I have folded the leg, there is in the central part between the thigh and the calf, there is a valley. So this right foot, this line is tucked into that valley. It looks, it might sound complex, but it's very simple. That was step number 2. Let me repeat again. Step number 1, the left foot brought inward, the heel touching the center line, and otherwise the foot is touching the thigh. Second step, this line gets tucked into the left calf, left valley, which is between the thigh and the calf. Now I use my right hand, this palm, let it slip through the valley on the right side and hold the biggest toe of this left foot, and I just pull it up. Again, the socks are there, so, but you see, I might as well remove the socks. Again, Siddhasana, my favorite, and I really like it. Left foot brought inward, right foot brought inward so that it gets tucked into the thigh here. Let me see if there is an important. Okay, thank you. So second step, this is here. Third step, I am letting my right palm go inside, holding the biggest toe and pull it up. Now this toe is visible. That completes the Siddhasana. So it's a good in the sense the body weight is being passed on to the larger surface area. I think it will allow you 1-2 hours in one sitting mode. It's very good. I like it.
So you are able to sit without any support, Acharya ji, behind?
Yeah. Without behind, I don't use a cushion also. I think I have been, maximum I did even 2.5 hours.
Commendable.
It's very good. Okay, if you need it, use a cushion in the early part. Now, Swastikasana is not much different from this. Let me just show it to you. There's slight difference. In the step 1, as I brought the left foot inward, if the heel is also touching the thigh, instead of the center line, it is on the thigh. Then everything else is same. This is Swastikasana, as I understand it. Okay, that was our kind of a demonstration. And I like Inigo's comment. Today we have done Hatha Yoga also. How is that? I don't hate Hatha Yoga. I never said that. But Hatha Yoga is not yoga. But actually, Hatha Yoga has borrowed Asana wrongly. Anyway, let's do, while I am in this posture, let's just devote. I pick up my phone. Again, somehow today I thought I should sail through easily in time, but let's see, 8 minutes. So today I have luxury to do meditation in this kind of a session in my Siddhasana posture. Okay. So we are all in comfortable posture. Number 1 is done. Number 2, very simple pranayam. One long breathe out. Now, oral recitation of that sound 3 times. Then we continue with this mental recitation. Om. 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 Okay, that was our practice. That ends our session number 16. Any questions or comments?
Yeah, both. Acharji, both. First
Yeah.
comment, your Siddhasan, Acharji, is very popular. And, when we were kids, I remember all of us used to sit in this and then swing on our palms. So in this Siddhasan, if you put both palms on the earth, you can raise your body and make a swing actually. And it's still a lot of kids, they all do when they are light. And second, I have a question, Acharji. I had never heard this before, but you just said this while showing us your posture that you sat 2.5 hours. And is there what I've been hearing so far that one should sit for 1 hour, but is that 1 hour limit minimum on a minimum side, or you can try for 2.5 hours as well?
No, what I showed you there was he's saying Nyuntam 2 ghanta. So that is minimum. So I will interpret it. He's suggesting minimum 1 hour morning, 1 hour evening. For those who are very serious, who, that is called as mumukshu, who wants to go towards moksha marg.
They can try for a more number of hours in a go.
Yeah, he's saying minimum 1 hour in one sitting.
Then Acharji, if one starts sitting, let's say, you have time and 2 hours, 2.5 hours, I'm sure if a person like me can touch 55 minutes, 50 minutes, anybody can do it. I've been very poor in this. And I'm sure once it's all mental, you decide you can sit for, like when my 1 hour is complete, my eyes open on its own. There is no alarm. So I'm sure, the mind works as per that. But then Acharji, what are those people? There is a Hindi word known as tapasya. Those rishis and munis who used to, be in meditation for hours. So is that the extension, that tapasya is the extension of this yoga?
Yeah, actually the word tap, we have seen it. Tap swadhyaya ishwa pranidhan is a niyam, also from kriya yoga. And tapasya is, one who is delving into it, deep into it. So, it's very individual, what he wants to, how you want to distribute your time. Everybody has 24 hours a day. Now, what are your objectives and what are your responsibilities, or, if you have a family, if you have a spouse, and there are so many factors that I think it is left to the individual how he wants to make his that inner progress, atmunnati. I would say spiritual progress, but when I say spiritual progress, people may have different ideas. So I will say a progress that is on the lines of Sankhya and Patanjali, Kapil and Patanjali's teachings. I don't know. There are many possibilities. Somebody may do it multiple times in a day. Somebody may do 2 times and longer interval. I don't know. It's very individualistic.
But
We
what's
cannot
your
frame a
experience, Acharya?
guideline. I think he is also aware. So Maharishi Dayananda, I think he has written, his guideline is good. He is saying minimum twice a day and 1 hour each. I think that explains well.
But
So not
Acharya,
less than this. So,
yeah, but
but
Acharya,
he is calling them as mumukshu. So his 9th chapter is about nature of moksha, etc. So it depends. If somebody is on that path, then
no, Acharya, the other objective of my question is that you either meet a teacher who knows the subject, or you meet a teacher who knows the practicality of yoga. But to our good luck, I mean, we are talking to you. You are as expert in this knowledge that you have no confusion at all in your mind that what yoga it is. And then you have been practicing meditation for almost 40, 50 years. So with your experience, I mean, you think if how much is the maximum stretch one should aim at practically?
Well, as I said, it's very individual in the sense I am a particular age. My children are in particular age, so my responsibility, it's very, very, very subjective, If somebody is 45 and his children are school going, his life is very different. In my case, yes, my children are reasonably well settled. I live with my wife. We are two grown-up people. So we are not in a household where there are small children. So, things are all, somebody could be in an ashram, like I could be in an ashram living alone. So there are so many factors are there. It's very difficult to characterize or.
No, I'm not asking in general law. I'm not asking Acharya. If given a time like your situation, or let's say I'm a retired man, I have nothing to do, and I like reading about it and like practicing. So, I mean, I have not seen anywhere written as a maximum limit. So, but today you just said you did it for 2.5 hours. So that made me a little curious that
No, what
if,
I was saying was there was an occasion, I was talking about Siddhasan.
yeah.
There was an occasion, I remember it was in Montreal. I was speaking on Ishopanishad. So I spoke in one sitting for 2.5 hours.
Okay, sitting in that posture.
Yeah, I was just speaking. I think there were listeners who were willing to listen for that long.
Okay.
It gave me a freedom. Otherwise, nowadays, attention span is 20 minutes, 30 minutes. But there were some nice people. They said, we want to hear from you, Ishopanishad, this evening. I asked them, usually I ask how much time you allocate, 30 minutes, 40 minutes. They meant it. They said, as long as you can go on. So it was evening supper. We have already eaten 6 p.m. So I think I must have spoken 6:30 to 9, something like that.
And might have covered one chapter.
Excuse me?
Might have covered one or two shlok only.
No, I think I covered the whole issue of Upanishad.
But I think in today's,
I was just mentioning, in this posture, one could sit long. We cannot prescribe it. Just, because we have seen Kapil is saying, na niyama. So he's also not prescribing. So I will just add, of course, I made a slide giving a range of options. The range started from sitting on a chair. I probably would add to it, you should not sit on a sofa or not on bed and things like that. So that should be that is the other extreme. Don't go stretch it to a sofa and all that. Yes, Inigo, please.
Yeah, I was just going to make the point that I think, especially in today's day and age, where we on average, a human being already spends too many hours sitting down, stationary, that probably you need. I wouldn't necessarily be aiming for more sitting down, stationary activity. I think you need to think, well, if I'm already sitting down a lot, not doing much, your body's going to suffer in terms of your health. So I think if you're going to sit down for a long period to do meditation, I think you then need to balance that out. So, okay, that means I shouldn't then go and sit down for the rest of the day watching telly or whatever. You need to make sure you do your physical activity, keep your body healthy, keep your bones strong, your muscles working. So yeah, it's just a little bit of caution in terms of when we're thinking, okay, how long should we sit for? Just to think, well, put that into context of what physical activity you're doing in your life. And probably when even Vyasa's time, probably daily life was a lot more active compared to today. So yeah, you can sit for 2 hours to meditate because the rest of your day you have to do a lot of work and activity. And obviously in the times of Patanjali, even more so. But today's day and age, I think we probably sit down enough as it is.
Yeah, you're right. Even in the days of pandemic, WHO guideline was something like don't sit more than 20 minutes. You rise and walk a few steps.
Maybe Acharya ji can research for a mobile upasana.
Yes, so,
You can
even
move
when
and
you
do
go in long
upasana.
flights, you are advised there is a danger of blood clotting and all. So you should walk along the aisle after. So I think we don't want to say anything.
You can
How
sit on the
many
stage.
hours you must sit, otherwise somebody may misinterpret it. There is no competition. There is for you to decide. So I just gave a 2.5 hours as an instance that if somebody wants, the body can cooperate for long. But that is not a suggestion that you should sit for such a length.
We can sit on the stationary bike and just move half of the body and keep on doing.
Yeah. That's a good option, doctor. But
Some-
Acharji, I take it in a totally different perspective. When you say we have two continuum, when we know that we are two, Atma and the mind, one is, and both have different natures. We are made of nature and that is bound to die. So if we see in 24 hours, if one is not meditating, we are 99% working only towards our body. There is absolutely no attention to the other part of the self, which is immortal and which we need to clean. And it's like, in fact, I just said someone, he said, you are meditating. I said, no, I'm creating my baggage to travel to the next world. This will be the only baggage that I'll be carrying when I'm no more. But we can't find 1 hour, and then in that 1 hour we say, oh, I may have a blood clotting or my muscles will choke. I've just been thinking on these lines actually for last just few days, that the whole day we have no other objective than looking after our body and well-being and this vitamin, that protein. Whereas this body either would be buried ultimately or would be burned. The only baggage that we'll be carrying is our mind and the soul. So why not 1 or 2 hours? I mean, one should actually press for a little more and prepare a nice baggage for the next life and, have a more beautiful life probably.
Yeah, I think once in a while I have commented as you practice and be mindful of some body signals. Sometimes you may have, you may need to adjust your body posture. So, the general guideline is you don't overdo anything. Even in pranayam, we say that's his word, becheni hone lage to.
Yeah.
And at the onset of discomfort, you get away from that point.
Yeah.
So even if there is that's what he's saying. Sthir sukham, if it is not sukham, then your posture is not, say you get a signal after 20 minutes that some muscles are, some are giving up, some there is a signal of a pain, then this particular body posture is allowing you stay and sukham only for 18-20 minutes. So you have a message. So you keep yourself within those 20 minutes, or readjust to another posture, or, okay, change over if you wish to continue longer than 20 minutes, and maybe then your proficiency increases, that same body posture allows you now 30 minutes. All this is, you have to decide,
Yeah, very individual.
keeping everything in mind. So they have given a good parameter, 2 factors. In the meditation practice, your body must be unwavering, stable, and stationary. And the posture that you have selected should not cause any discomfort to you. So with these 2 factors in mind, they are not saying anything more than this. You can be on a chair, you can take the support of the wall. So that's where I tried to give you, in the modern sense, all a wide range of options. So it's not that if you are not doing Siddhasana, you are not likely to make progress. I am not saying that.
Yeah.
So I have just given you wide range of options,
But
thinking
Acharji,
I
one
don't
more
want to
advice.
violate what Patanjali and Kapila are saying.
We have a doctor amongst us, Dr. Ved Gulati, and I'll tell you, Acharji, I was little sick day before, and I spent a long time waiting for a doctor, 15 hours. And when they took my BP, it was upper one was around 140. And it was a very senior doctor, and I reacted as if 140. She said, is in normal limit. I said, no, I'm a yogi. She said, what do you mean? And she was a Muslim doctor in emergency. And then she said, wow. I said, since I do meditation, I never touch 120. I'm at 112, 113. I'm hypertensive with medicine. It was never easy. Acharji, my heartbeat comes down to the level of 50, 52, and my BP remains in 112, 115 by 72, 74, 75, which was a miracle for me. And then when I got little relaxed, they saw me, I was all right and all. And again, when they took it, again it dropped to 118 to that level. So meditation helps a lot in bringing down the blood pressure and normalizing the heartbeat. Is unimaginably fantastic.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. My heartbeats are better than a young kid, and I'm 57, 58.
So
So
for how long you have been meditating?
I've been doing for many years, 8, 10 years, 12 years, but this 1 hour has been 5, 6 months or 1 year, but 30, 40 minutes I've been doing for long.
Yeah.
But this has given amazing health benefits. The BP and all, I was always 140, 145 by 85, 90 with medicines.
Mhm.
I don't cross 112, 115 by 70, 72. My pulse rate comes to 50, 55. That's it.
That's amazing.
It is amazing. And that doctor, she was attending all A&E patients. And she was in hurry because they work under a lot of pressure. And when I reacted at 140, I said, 140? She said, so? Is within limit? I said, no, not for me. Then I told her, I said, I don't cross 120 easily, the upper one. And then when I told her,
In theory, they say like 139 and below is normal. So
yeah.
from the theory point of view, she said it is normal.
No, I mean, I also understand, but the way I reacted, because I was not used to that.
Correct.
So I never thought, but since I was awake, I didn't sleep all night. I was waiting since 6 o'clock in the evening, and she saw me at around 7:30, 7 o'clock in the morning. So that's the UK status of seeing a doctor. So, I was there for 12, 13 hours, and then BP, it said 140. I said, no, it's too much for me.
So do you take meds? Do you take
Yeah,
anti?
I do take. Yeah, I do take for many years, but still my BP was always on high side. But this meditation has done so much of good, is unimaginable. And especially the pulse rate. Pulse rate is just amazing. So now when I complete a good walk of 4 or 5 kilometers, it goes up a little bit. So, you feel so
Wow.
athletic.
I have a question. Acharya ji, you must give each one limited time to ask only one question in a session because KK Singh ji takes away all the time.
Oh, then I leave this session now.
No. I'm
No,
just
no, no.
joking.
I always felt that.
So, so do we have time for like one small question?
Yeah, maybe one short question.
Okay, so I was thinking like in the pratyahar stage where we are trying to withdraw ourselves in the manomay kosh, as you say, like so that we don't get a lot of sensory this thing. So is it like also, I mean, will that stage be easier if we practice like control of senses, sense organs in our daily routine also like?
Yeah, that's what Pratyahara benefit is supposed to be, that we have better control on our sensory organs that are by nature outgoing. They bring
Right.
information from the, but when they are too much outgoing, then there are a lot of cravings and all that.
Right.
So as we are practicing Pratyahara, finally, that's what Vyasa is saying. Even, even Patanjali is saying, Vayam Vashyata Indriyanam, meaning you have a very good control on your sensory organs.
Right. So I'm wondering, like in that short time, when we are trying to discipline our manomay kosh, will it be helpful if in our daily routine we try to practice controlling the reins of the sense organs in our day to
Yeah,
day?
sure. It's, that's what we are saying. What you do in meditation practice, it has a influence on the entire day. And what you do entire day has an influence on your
Okay.
meditation practice.
Okay. Thank you.
So, we cannot uncouple that. This is what you are. This is what an individual's personality is. All the aspects.
Ji.
Okay, thank you very much. That was nice. We conclude our session 16th here, and we'll meet again at the same hour next week. Have a good time.
Namaste.
Namaste. Dhanyavad.